Hello everyone and welcome to another Close to My Heart Twisted Sisters YouTube hop. We are taking products from this brand new October-December 2022 catalogue and we're using them in ways that you may not have already thought of. There are a few videos that have already posted. This hop is running for quite a few days, so make sure you check out the playlist link that I have in the description below. That will be updated every day when a new video posts. So let's get to what I'm going to be creating today. You can see from the cover here that there are Christmas collections within, and I'm going to be taking this harmonious pattern stamp set here and making double use of these stamp sets in a way that you may not have already thought of. I'm going to make a series of cards with these. Two of them I will do on camera and then I'll have some show and tell at the end. So make sure you hang around to the end of the video to check out all of the card designs that I've done with this. These background stamps have got a variety of themes. It's not necessarily just for Christmas. This tree here would be great for outdoor purposes, not just for Christmas. So you could stamp quite a few of those if you were hiking in the mountains or anything like that, or just by looking at it on its side here. These would make really cool little arrows to cut out if you like fussy cutting. You could stamp this and then cut out a whole lot of these trees to make arrow pointers towards a layout or on an art journal project or on a card also. The music here could be for birthday as well as for Christmas, and then we've got a snow type effect here, and that of course creates a lovely pattern no matter what time of year. It doesn't have to represent snow. And the plaid pattern here works really well with Christmas, but also with layouts and cards that are male orientated or for somebody that just loves wearing plaid. What I'm going to use today are these three sets here. I found that with the project that I'm working on today, the plaid didn't quite work as well, and you'll see why in just a moment. So the first one I'm going to do today is use this dot one here that looks like snow. So you can see that I've put that on my block and I've adhered what you would normally stamp to the block itself. So I've got the flat side of the stamp here. So it's the reverse side of the stamp, and this will create a great background. You can see it's not totally smooth. It's got little edges and everything where the polka dots or the snowflake areas sort of come out. So it creates a really interesting texture for the back of your stamp. I'm bringing in some scratch paper here because I want to do some second generation stamping. I'm going to use Papaya ink for my first layer, and what I'm going to do, I have used this stamp set already, but I just want to make sure it's going to ink up the way I want to, in case I've got any little bits on there, any fluff or any fragments that I don't want. I want to make sure that I'm going to get a fairly good stamp from this. This is a background piece, but with the Papaya I found that it was a little bit too strong. So I've got a piece of white daisy here, and I'm just stamping this towards the top of a 3" by 4 1/4" piece of white daisy cardstock. Then I just need to clean my stamp off, and I'm going to just get rid of the moisture from my chamois and turn the stamp around. And then I'm going to bring in Nectarine ink. So I'm just going to ink that up, make sure that it's stamping perfectly, and it is. And then I'm going to put this on top of that background area. And I really like how that looks. I hope you can see the Papaya has softened right out with doing second generation, and the Nectarine brings in a nice depth for the dots. While I'm doing all the inking, I'm just going to keep going, and I'm going to do the next piece for the next card. I'm just going to change that out. Now you want to be careful when you take the stamps off the carrier sheets. I usually put my fingers underneath and ease them off, especially if they've got, these ones aren't too bad because they're a solid piece, but if you've got a delicate type stamp, you really want to make sure that you don't tear it off like that. You give it support as you're removing it from the carrier sheet, and that way you won't get any tears. The next one I'm going to do is this music one, and I'm bringing in some French vanilla cardstock. I'm going to use Shortbread ink for the base, and once again I'm just going to season that a little bit with my hand, even though I have used this before, and I'm going to do a little test run on my scrap piece here, and that's stamping beautifully. So ink that up, and if you look at this, I'm turning this around sideways because this one has a bit of a wavy edge on the bottom, and I want that to be at the bottom of my background piece. clean this off, remove the moisture, and then I'm just going to simply turn this around. And then I'm going to bring in my espresso ink, making sure that I've got this around the right way, ink this up, and go over top of what I've just stamped. These ones are both going to be birthday cards. And then I'm going to go way back to one of the first stamp sets I ever bought when Close to My Heart came to Australia. It's Holiday Tags Occasions. And I really like the straight happy birthday. It's my favourite little happy birthday. It's my go-to happy birthday when I want a nice, clean and simple happy birthday to put onto a card. Because for this, the main feature for me is the actual stamping. And I'm just going to turn my mat over so I've got a firmer surface to actually adhere everything on. So I'm just going to put some adhesive. This strip is 3 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I also love turning my mat over because I can line my card up so that it's nice and straight and then center that piece there. And then I'm just got some fun foam here that I buy from a local variety like $2 type store because I want this whole area to be nice and supported. And for those of you that like doing everything nice and straight, you'd want to cut your panel a little bit wider. But for these cards, I'm actually going to put them on an angle. And then I'm going to bring in a balloon that I've already coloured with some partial colouring, but I've used the 3 shades, so the dark, mid and light. And this is from the recent September special. And I love this balloon and all the little animals as well. And I'm going to add this balloon right here. You can see I've already stamped on the back side of this and something didn't quite go right with what I was doing. So I just turn things over and stamp on the other side rather than throw that piece of paper out. Nobody's going to know that that's there. And then this just gets attached directly to the card. So that's the first one. But for this card, this is an old French vanilla base. I'm actually going to put both of these elements on an angle. So there are the 2 cards I've put together so far. All I need to do is put a little bling on, but I wanted to bring in the other cards that I've made using this technique. You can see here I've made a Christmas one, and in case you're wondering where this Merry Christmas comes from, it's from the Holly and Ivy card making workshop. I love the straight and simple type sentiments on cards like this to keep with the clean sort of look. And I was looking through all the new stamps and I couldn't actually find one. But then my second order arrived and there's actually a happy birthday here that would work very well with these birthday cards from the Admit One stamp and thin cut set. So you could use that. So now all I'm going to do is attach some bling and then these cards will be done. I did have a change of heart when it came to this one here with the Papaya and the Nectarine stamp. I really didn't like the look of those colour tones with the orange here, so I actually went through my scraps again and picked out a new pattern paper, and then I brought in my antique pink blend and coloured it, and I think that works so much better. It's funny when you're creating things sometimes. I don't know if you ever do it. I step back and I look at something and I think, no, I'm not particularly fond of that. But it is only paper after all, and I've gone through my stash and got scraps from previous collections to create these cards. All that's left for me to do now is to add some bling. I'm going to add some sequins and some dots to these, and I'll put some photos up with all of the finished artwork at the end of this video. Make sure to check out the playlist. There'll be a link here on screen, and there's also one in the description, as I said before. I hope you enjoy this YouTube hop with our brand new October-December catalogue. It's got so many good things inside here, and Christmas is always a fun time of year for me when all the Christmas products are released. Thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting, and bye for now.